Okay, let's hear for lucky number 7. Well, hey, still got Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And it's got Odd One Out book number 2. So anyways, and now it's time for Skyny Robin Hood.
Did I already do this bow and arrow pose with the same camera shot? Twice? Don't know about that, but there's something funny going on around here. We kinda sound a bit similar too. I think I'm having an existential crisis. I think I'm going to bed. Are we experiencing lack of creativity in animation nowadays?
Oh, the lever.
You're watching Exables Chernobyl. Hey everybody, and welcome back to our Disney and Marvel 2024. So today we are going to take a look at the top 10 worst straight-to-DVD Disney sequels. So without further ado, let's do this!
We often look back at the Disney movies we grew up watching with fond memories. But there are some creations we wish we could forget.
Still definitely the worst of all time.
Here again.
You know, you have a point. If this is the real Li Shang, I don't like what I'm seeing. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst straight-to-DVD Disney sequels.
I fear the Indians may wage war.
Oh, my dear Pocahontas would never allow that.
For this list, we'll be taking a
still
look at those
definitely
Disney
the
sequels
worst
that
of all
didn't quite make the
time.
cut for a wide theatrical release. And
Don't
with good
like it.
reason.
Birdwell's raisins, property of Birdwell. Do not touch except for Birdwell.
Huh, I think I would have seen that.
Although we call them sequels, what we really mean is any movie released after the original, which can include prequels, midquels, and spin-offs.
This is a very special necklace. I kept it hidden in a sock for
10. Leroy and Stitch.
I shall name you Leroy! Wow, it is a genius name!
That's a
Following
good
Stitch, the
creation.
movie, and Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch has a glitch. In addition to the TV spin-off series, you'd think that Disney would
Still
pull it with the
definitely a
Elvis-loving little
glitching
blue
going
alien.
on here.
Aloha, Gerbil Doyle.
Instead, they gave us Leroy and Stitch, wherein Jumba is forced
Still
by
making
the
a naughty
antagonist of the
list.
movie to
Or
kill an evil twin
even
Stitch
nice.
named Leroy to rival him. An army of
So
Leroys
much
threatens to take over the
Leroys.
Earth, but luckily Jumba had installed an off command in the clones. To activate it, they just need to play Elvis. How convenient. The movie itself wasn't unwatchable, just more of the same and entirely unnecessary.
I didn't ask what you think.
Number 9, The Fox and the Hound 2.
Still definitely a movie all the time.
Midquels are the definition of sequels no one needed. They don't move the original story along, nor do they act as exposition for anything that happened in the original.
The team, right?
You're getting on all the shots in our God.
Midquels can be good if they serve a purpose, but it seems that the only purpose for this movie is to annoy us, like a rhyme and a song. We all belong like a bird in a tree. We're meant to be like a nose and a tail on a horse and a trail. Todd and Copper were lovable characters. Until
still got
in this installment,
youngsters.
They're tempted to join up with a band of hillbilly country singing stray dogs.
Just exactly why did you get us all together?
Sure, it's nice to see more from the early years of the pair's unlikely friendship, but we could do without performances from the Singin' Strays.
You see, Todd, relationships and show business, they just don't mix. Oh, it starts out nice and friendly. Then they get that first taste of fame, and it's look out for number one.
Reba McEntire as a singing dog? Yes. Everything else? No, thank you.
Don't need to make wishes anyway.
Number 8, Kronk's New Groove.
Some things just not right here.
After the success of The Emperor's New Groove, it's no wonder Disney thought a sequel would be a good idea.
Who'd have thought, huh?
But they were so wrong.
I've got a proposition. My eggs, your raisins. We could bake beautiful bread together.
The disappointing sequel stars supporting character Kronk, who, granted, was a laugh riot in the first movie. But even Patrick Warburton, who voiced Kronk, couldn't make up for the weak storyline and lack of sass and
Still
personality that
making all the
Kuzco brought
mixers
to
all
the
the
original.
time.
Emperor Cusco here, coming at you live from the palace.
Currently sporting a rating of 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is less than groovy. And if anything, should convince
make
Disney
you
once
go
and for all that if
vomit.
it ain't broke, don't make a sequel to it.
So when you think of our brief time together here, don't cry for me, Argentina.
Number 7, The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning.
From that moment on, the king's heart stayed dark. And music was banned from Atlantica. Forever.
This prequel tells the story about the time music was banned from Atlantica because it indirectly caused the death of Ariel's mother, Queen Athena.
I may not remember much about my mother, but I know she wouldn't have wanted this.
Considering the original often involved the red-headed mermaid bursting into song,
Still
it makes
wondering
sense that the
if they're
young Ariel would
supposed
have
to
a
be
major
your
problem
death.
with this.
Don't get cute with me. This is serious. Where were you?
I was just listening to music in an underground
I
club.
thought Disney's supposed to be a best day
Brings
ever.
music back into her life.
No wonder
And by
at
the
that.
end, King Triton decides to bring music back to the kingdom. There's nothing wrong with the story itself, but the music was what made the original so good in the first place. So honestly, was a prequel really necessary? Not really. And don't get us started on that shipwreck of a sequel about Ariel's offspring.
Oh, Sebastian, I can't help it. I just love this.
Number 6, Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure.
You have to obey certain rules. But I want to run wild and free like a real dog.
Did
Still
you see
wondering.
Lady and the Tramp and think, you know what would make this better? The
That
exact
thing is
same
so
movie
real.
with their kids. Of course. If you did, then you're in luck because that's exactly what happened.
It's that obvious?
Couldn't miss it if I tried.
Disney decided to make a sequel nearly half a century after the fact, about Lady and Tramp's son Scamp falling in love with a pretty junkyard dog, complete with an homage to the famous spaghetti and
go for
meatballs
dogs.
And why did we need this movie? We didn't. Apparently, Disney just needed a few extra bucks in their pockets and figured audiences wouldn't pick up on the similarities between the two.
Still like it.
Well, we did. And we're calling you out, Disney.
And it's cute.
I made it. This is everything that I've ever dreamed of.
Dreamed of what? This?
Number 5. Pocahontas 2. Journey to a New World.
Welcome to London.
The Native American Disney princess, based on the real-life historical figure, is all about doing what's right for her people. So when her
That
father,
thing is
chief of the
so
Powhatan tribe,
exactly
refuses to go to England to negotiate a peace treaty, Pocahontas is quick to step up and take his place.
My heart is
Not much for Thanksgiving, isn't it?
London people seem to come in every shape and size.
But when she finally arrives in the New World, she is bullied into acting civilized and is eventually rescued by John Smith. She doesn't even get to fight her own battles.
It's John Smith! I thought he was dead!
The ghost of John Smith. Run for your life.
On top of being an unnecessary sequel, the film ultimately failed to showcase how badass Pocahontas is on her own, which is the biggest crime of them
Well,
all.
very ridiculous.
Number 4, Mulan 2.
Something wrong?
The original Mulan was perfect in almost every way. So why didn't they just leave well enough alone? Yes, it was never clear whether Mulan and Shang would actually end up together, so it's nice to get that confirmation. But not at the cost of tainting the story we all know and love.
Now this is a battlefield.
Mushu tries to break Mulan and Shang up to keep his job, which doesn't even make sense. We're tricked into thinking Shang dies, spoiler alert, he doesn't, and Yao, Ling, and Qian Po marry the Emperor's 3 daughters. Seriously.
And there's no one there to steal
And most importantly, although the voice actor who replaced Eddie Murphy did a decent job at imitating him, it just isn't the same Mushu without Murphy.
Pretty boy's gonna look so bad it'll send Mulan running for the hills.
Number 3, The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2.
Get out there, sweetie!
Last time we saw Quasimodo, he'd finally been accepted as part of Parisian society, but nevertheless chose to continue acting as the official bell ringer of La Fidèle.
Are you hiding from me?
No. What's so funny?
Unfortunately for him, in this installment, a circus of crooks arrives in town intent on stealing the bell. This premise should have made for an entertaining and action-packed sequel, but whatever promise it had was overshadowed by bland characters and utterly forgettable songs.
That golden bell, sweet La Fidèle, will soon be ringing clear. The best of
Oh, definitely a Disney song.
Jennifer Love Hewitt joins the cast as Madeleine, the love interest for the outcast. But her appeal subsides
love
somewhat
it.
when she runs away in
I guess
horror
it's
the
really
first time
much
she
like
sees
it.
Quasimodo's face. It's kind of hard to root for a romance that begins that way.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
Number 2, Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Magical World. If it wasn't good enough to be made into a television show, it probably wasn't good enough for film. That's the lesson we learned from this sequel, which is made up of 4 episodes of an unreleased TV series.
You're having lunch with me.
Am
You are.
I? I am not.
Perhaps the master might be a bit more gracious.
Why should I?
This wasn't even the first sequel. A year earlier, a movie called The Enchanted Christmas was released, about how the Beast has banned the holiday from the castle.
Forbid Christmas? No one can forbid Christmas.
The stories here revolve around the odd couple and their animated household items. One of them is about how Belle and Beast can't even sit through a meal without getting into an argument.
Isn't that terrible?
Maybe if your happily ever after isn't quite so happy, we don't need to hear about it.
What's keeping you?
Oh, yes. Why,
Oh my goodness.
Forgot.
Before we reveal our number one pick, here are some honorable, or in this case, dishonorable mentions.
The Return of Jafar. Tarzan 2.
Whatever it is, you sure ain't doing it.
Boo's Grand Adventure. The Search for Christopher Robin.
We're nowhere after that map.
Number 1, Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True.
This is a disaster.
The original rags to riches fairy tale we all know and love was about a poor girl who finally got her happily ever after. This is not that story.
What am I going to do? I'm a complete failure as a princess.
Sure, at first we enjoy seeing Cinderella take on princess duties in her own unique way. But then
that's
things
my
veer off
only
course
way.
as we watch as Jacques the Mouse gets turned into a human, and one of the evil stepsisters, Anastasia, falls in love with a lowly baker.
Everything smells so good.
Would you like one?
Not my
Normally
old
we'd say that if you're going to release a sequel 52 years after a classic, at least stick to what worked best the first time, which in this case was the emphasis on Cinderella.
And why do they have to keep the palace so dark? And that awful dance. And those boring colors that all look the same.
However, Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, focused on Anastasia and was actually a decent Disney sequel. On the other hand, even a fairy godmother couldn't save Dreams Come True from the overwhelmingly negative reviews it received from critics.
This is all my fault. Wish fairy godmother was here.
Well, we'll see you next time.